Hello everyone, welcome to this video on our visit to the Colosseum in Rome, Italy. This video includes some background history about the Colosseum and what you can expect to see when you go there. I have another video about the do's and don'ts of visiting the Colosseum, and I included some tips and tricks in there that I think will be useful for first-time visitors. This video will mainly focus on what you will see when you visit the Colosseum. We took the metro, which is Rome's subway system, and got off at the Colosseum station. The metro station is directly across the street from the Colosseum. As soon as you come up out of the metro, you are greeted with a very touristy mob scene. Everyone there is either a tourist, a tour guide, or a vendor. The first thing you see when you get out of the metro station is the Colosseum. Even the huge crowds of people can't block this massive structure. It's colossal, no question about it. It is the largest amphitheater ever built. The Emperor Vespasian began construction on the Colosseum in 72 AD, 2 years after conquering Jerusalem and bringing back to Rome the spoils of war from the Jewish temple, including an estimated 100,000 Jewish prisoners of war that helped to build this structure. There's an arch across the street from the Colosseum, the Arch of Titus, and it has carvings of the Roman victors bringing back the spoils of war from the temple in Jerusalem, including the menorah, which, by the way, has never resurfaced again. The Colosseum took 8 years to build and was completed by Titus. There were modifications over the years, but the main part of the Colosseum was completed by the year 80 AD. So here we are walking on the arena floor. Standing here looking at the arena, it's easy to compare this to a sports arena of modern times, but this place is massive. We are standing where the arena floor would be, but obviously it's missing. What we are looking at are the underground passages beneath the playing surface. There are some tours that take you down to those levels, but it's not included in the base price of the admission ticket. The arena floor was a wooden floor covered with sand. Underneath the arena was a 2-level subterranean network of tunnels and cages to keep the animals and the slaves before a contest. This subterranean network of tunnels connected to a number of places outside the Colosseum so that the animals, the slaves, and other performers could be brought through without being seen or mingling with the people. There were also separate tunnels and passages for the emperor and for the Vestal Virgins so that they could enter without mingling with the crowds as well. It is said that there may have been hydraulic mechanisms and other types of machinery such as elevators and pulleys to raise and lower scenery and props and to lift the caged animals to the surface. It's also believed that the arena was flooded occasionally to showcase mock naval battles, but this is in dispute by some of the historians. The shape of the theater is elliptical, and it is 615 feet long and 510 feet wide. The base area takes up 6 acres. The height of the outer walls is 157 feet high, and the perimeter in its original state measured 1,788 feet. In the center of this theater is the arena, and that is where the spectacles took place. That's the floor we're standing on now. Above that, where we are standing, is where the seating was. The cross we see here was erected more recently to honor martyrs. It marks the north side of the stadium where the emperor's box would have been. This was where the emperor watched as the games began, animals against animals, animals against men, and even men against men. The games ended with at least one of the contestants dead. Reminds me a little of the Hunger Games. This social policy of free, barbaric entertainment was a way of keeping the common Roman people happy and content. It was also known as bread and circuses, and it worked to maintain the order in Roman society. The seating was arranged in order of the spectators' ranking in society. The emperor and the Vestal Virgins were given the special box seats at the north and south ends of the arena. These were the best views of the arena. So where we are now, standing at the north end, was where the emperor was seated. Next to these premium box seats were the seats for the senators. Here you can see some remains from those senator seats. The names of some of these senators can still be seen carved into the stonework. The tier above the senators was for the non-senatorial nobles or knights. The next level up was for the ordinary Romans, separated into two parts, one for the richer citizens and one for the poorer ones. There were also other sections for other types of groups, such as military or priests. At some point, another level was added at the top of the Colosseum for the lower classes of poor, the slaves, and women. This place is just breathtakingly massive. It is estimated that the Colosseum could hold between 50 and 80,000 spectators. After the initial reaction of awe at the massive size of the theater, I got goosebumps and a shiver down my spine thinking about the multitudes of spectators literally screaming for blood. This theater was probably the bloodiest in history, with human hunts, animal hunts, executions, and dramas that usually ended with someone being killed. These were barbaric times, and the more blood that was spilt, the more entertainment value this place held. It is clear that this place is more a symbol of death and barbarism than it is of life and liberty, and clearly many innocent souls lost their lives here. Not to mention the multitudes of animals who were killed here just for the sport. During the inauguration in 80 AD, approximately 9,000 animals were killed. You might wonder how 50 to 80,000 spectators were able to get into the theater. Well, I'm sure they didn't have the security checks and metal detectors that we have to go through, but that's still an awful lot of people that have to get into the theater all at the same time. The Colosseum had 80 entrances. 76 of them were used for common people. Each entrance and exit was numbered, and so was each staircase. Today, only the entrances 23 and 54 remain intact. Spectators were given a piece of broken pottery with the number and location of their seats. The passageways were created to allow people to access their seats from either below or behind, and this way spectators could be seated quickly and easily. Once the church took over, the Colosseum was no longer used for blood sports, but rather for housing and other purposes. At some point, it was used as a quarry where Romans repurposed some of the materials from the Colosseum for other construction in Rome. Large gaping holes can be found in the structure where the iron was ripped out to be used in other construction by the locals. Later, the Colosseum became a Christian shrine. Pope Pius V was said to have recommended that pilgrims gather sand from the arena since it contained the blood of martyrs. Pope Benedict XIV stopped the quarrying of the Colosseum and erected stations of the cross around the arena, which remained there until 1874. The Colosseum now is regarded as a place of martyrdom, and a Christian cross stands with a plaque and the following written on it. The amphitheater, once consecrated to triumphs, entertainments, and the impious worship of pagan gods, is now dedicated to the sufferings of the martyrs purified from impious superstitions. Other Christian crosses stand in several points around the arena, and every Good Friday the Pope leads a Stations of the Cross procession to the amphitheater. We were just now on the second level. Now we are going down the steps, and you can see they are quite steep. Not easy if you have a stroller. From the upper level you can see the bronze cross on the north end. You can also see the different materials that were used to build the stadium: brick, stone, and marble. There is also a fountain with free water someplace. If you look for it, you can find water fountains all over Rome, and the water is clean, fresh, and even somewhat on the cool side. Looking at the top story of the Colosseum, you can see that most of it is ruined. Only the north side, the side closest to the metro station, survives. If you make your way to the west side, there's a bookstore and some temporary exhibits. Well, that's it on my video about the history and background of the Colosseum. I have another video of tips and tricks, and be sure to check that one out. I'll be posting some more videos of my trip to Rome, including the Roman Forum and some other exciting sites such as Palatine Hill and the Trevi Fountain. I hope you enjoyed this visit to the Colosseum. It was a lot of fun. Make sure to check out my other videos on Palatine Hill, the Roman Forum, the Trevi Fountain, and I'm having an upcoming video on a 3-hour Segway tour of Rome. The video is not 3 hours. The Segway tour was 3 hours, and we covered a lot of ground in 3 hours, more than I could ever walk. If you would like to see more videos, please subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching. Bye!